2025 is almost over. Before we ring in the new year, I wanted to take you through a walkthrough of some of the biggest news stories that happened in the Mid-Ohio Valley during 2025.
2025 started with the Mid-Ohio Valley getting over a foot of snow, coupled with frigid temperatures. Near the end of January, former Wood County Schools teacher Nathan Cunningham was sentenced for sexual assault of a child. There were Doge protests in downtown Parkersburg in mid-February to protest cuts to the federal workforce. Sadly, World War II veteran and Belpre native Roy Sees passed away on February 11th at the age of 106. St. Joe's ambulance service shut down at the end of March after 52 years of service. Camden Clark is now the only ambulance provider in Wood County. It was ruled on April 2nd that Bureau of Physical Service probationary employees could return to work. Parkersburg City Council changed its public forum policy in April to some public outcry. Citizens can now only talk about topics listed on the agenda, not whatever topic they may have had in mind. On April 9th, Jonathan Hearn was sentenced to 27 years in prison after attacking his girlfriend's mother and sister. The community was able to tour the old Lincoln Elementary, Van Divender Middle School, and Fair Plains Elementary in April. Lincoln Elementary and Van Divender are being demolished to make way for a new school. Fair Plains Elementary will be repurposed into a warehouse for the school district. A new elementary school will be built in Vienna, since Vienna Elementary and Neal Elementary are set to close. Construction to install a turf field at Erickson All Sports facility started in April. A severe thunderstorm struck the Mid-Ohio Valley on April 21st. It brought wind gusts of up to 74 miles per hour. The end of April ended on a high note for this young woman. The Da Vinci's hostess got a $2,000 tip for her excellent service. The Belpre City Schools tax levy finally passed during May's election. It had failed for decades each time it was placed on the ballot. It will allow Belpre City Schools to build new schools. WVUP announced for the first time it will offer dormitory living as an option for its students. June began with more progress on the Vienna kayak launch. It's part of an effort to revitalize Spencer's Landing and the area around it. Marietta is also making enhancements to its levee. A heat wave hit in June that lasted for a little over a week. It set a new record high temperature. Construction began on the new Lubeck Elementary School toward the end of the month. July began with some personal news for WTAP. General Manager Ken Long retired at the beginning of the month. Not long after, longtime meteorologist Kurt Greenfield gave his last weather report on Friday, July 4th, before retiring after a 29-year career at WTAP. A man named Hurl Collins was sentenced to life in prison in July for killing his then-girlfriend, Morgan Stutler Lott. Scott Hickman's murder trial began in August. After a trial that lasted 2 weeks, he was found guilty for the 1995 deaths of Kimberly Fulton and her young son, Daniel Fulton. He was sentenced to life in prison. There was an orphan well explosion on August 25th in Washington County. 2 men later died from their injuries. In October, there was a breakthrough in the 2014 cold case of Cindy Ball. Greg Casto was arrested for her murder. The groundbreaking for new baseball and softball fields at Erickson was also this month. The Wood County Economic Development announced in November that Amazon is opening a 70,000 square foot delivery hub at the Polymer Alliance Zone in Davisville. There was a groundbreaking for the new Lincoln Elementary School in Parkersburg near the end of November. December began on a sad note. An 18-year-old man died from his injuries after being shot in South Parkersburg. His name was Brady Florence. There was a vigil at Southwood Park to remember his life. Butch Knight has been charged with his murder. Also at the beginning of December, former Parkersburg YMCA swim coach David Adams pleaded guilty to sexual abuse charges. He faces up to 25 years in prison. A snowstorm moved through the Mid-Ohio Valley in mid-December, dropping as much as 8 inches of snow in some areas and brought frigid temperatures. Monday, December 15th, set a new record low temperature. It was 3. The previous record had been 5.
We hope you enjoyed this look back at 2025, and we'll continue to keep you informed in 2026. Coming up in